So before I get into this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my new subscribers and everyone who has been following me along in this crazy flight attendant lifestyle journey. I do have a goal to hit 5K by July 1st, and I'm a little less than 100 away from that. So if you guys enjoyed this video in any way, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. So today I wanted to talk about how you would choose an airline that works best for you if you have received multiple job offers. So I remember when I was first starting this whole journey of becoming a flight attendant, majority of my research that I got was from YouTube and Glassdoor. I remember I watched so many YouTube videos when I was, getting my information, just because I'd rather watch a video than just read on Glassdoor. That's just how I wanted to get my information. And there were a lot of YouTube videos that were super helpful. And one thing I remembered reading somewhere was to apply to several airlines because it's very hard to, finally get a job offer. And so then I started thinking, and I was like, but what if I get multiple job offers, not knowing how competitive it really is? And so, I did my research on YouTube trying to find a video on how to choose a specific airline, and I really couldn't find any. I think I found like one or two, but I didn't find a video that discussed why someone chose this airline instead of this airline, and just finding someone that got multiple job offers. And I'm not saying this, I don't want to say this to like brag or anything, but I did receive 4 job offers out of the 6 airlines that I applied to. So I just want to give, any information that I can to help those out there that are really trying to receive a job offer. So not to get too off topic, my first job offer was from Republic, and it was weird because there was no face-to-face interview. So when I got my job offer, I was a little confused, like, wait, what? Because I didn't really meet someone face-to-face. It was all through video interview and phone interviews. I don't know why I picked this up, but a lot of their information was through like a slideshow online, which told us like how much we would get paid, how long was training, and all of that, which I don't remember those details because I had this notebook that I wrote down all the information about every airline that I applied to, which I recommend for everyone doing this, just to stay organized and kind of put your thoughts about each airline like written down so you can always refer back to it. Obviously, I was willing and able to go anywhere to relocate, but I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about their bases, and their pay was really low, and it wasn't mainline. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is my first job offer. Let's see about these other ones that I applied to. So the next up was Frontier. And with Frontier, I had a really good interview process. I met some friends that I'm still friends with now, and training was in Denver, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, okay. And then they had a base in Orlando, so I liked that because it was in Florida. Once again, their pay wasn't the best, and their training was really short, which I liked, but then I didn't like. I was like, wow, 3.5 weeks to cram all this information. That sounds like a lot, but it's doable. So once again, I wrote down like pros and a little bit of cons of what I liked about each company. And one thing I will say about Frontier is that, this is just my opinion, this is just the vibe that I got, is that they're very, very strict. Like, you couldn't have any tattoos at all, I believe. I mean, I have a tattoo, but it's right here on my shoulder blade. But they literally said if you have any tattoos from here, from like your shoulder down to your wrist, or from like your thigh area, your legs, even if it could be covered, they don't want that. They like literally asked people at the interview process to leave if they had any tattoos in any of those areas, and they did check. So they were a little bit strict, and I just didn't like that, because I just feel like if you could cover your tattoos, what's the problem? But that's just my opinion. So that was that. I did receive a job offer, and I was ready to go to that training, like I said, but then I received my American face-to-face interview. Make sure you guys check out the video down below. But of course that interview went really well, and what I liked about them was their bases. They had a lot of bases to choose from. They had a Miami base, which was pretty big, which is where I am now, from Florida. So, you know, I was always looking for an airline that had a base in Florida, even though I was willing to live anywhere. They also paid really well. I think they pay the highest starting out. So obviously I really like that. I like their uniform. I like their reserve system, which was probably the single most thing that I liked the most. So. I'm sorry guys, I feel like this video is all over the place. So the 6 airlines I applied to was Delta, American, United, Frontier, and Republic, and Alaska. I wanted to apply to Southwest and JetBlue as well, but they weren't hiring at the moment. Their applications weren't open. Speaking of, I know a few of you have asked me when the company that I work for will be hiring again, and my guess is fall. I don't really know. They open and close it all the time. But if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure to go ahead and follow me, and then when I see that their applications are open, I'll post there, as well as on YouTube. I'll let you guys know when we're hiring again. So those are the 6 airlines I applied to, and if you guys want to see I think I went on three or four. I did face-to-face interviews, phone interviews, video interviews. If you guys want to see that, I'll link all of that down below. So yeah, I applied to 6 and I received 4 job offers. I believe I received my first job offer from Republic, and then Frontier, American, then United. So it's funny because I was actually originally supposed to go to Frontier's training, which was 3.5 weeks in Denver. So, you know, I had gotten my CJO from Frontier, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to training. This is the airline that I'm going to work for. And because I hadn't gotten my face-to-face invite yet from American, and I can't remember, I have to check. I don't know if I went to United's face-to-face yet. So I got my job offer from American a week before I was supposed to go to training with Frontier, which I'm so happy about because I was not ready to go to Frontier's training. I was really not ready for it. And I kind of didn't prepare myself in a way, because in the back of my mind I was like, I'm getting a phone call from American, I'm gonna get a face-to-face interview, and I'm getting a job offer from them. So, and that's kind of what happened. Also, not to get too sidetracked, but I did go to some interviews and were surrounded or sitting by some people who just kind of spoke and thought negatively. For example, if we're sitting at a table waiting to be called, and you know, someone next to me is like, man, I think I did so bad, I don't think that they're gonna call me, I don't think I got this, I want this so bad, but I did horrible. I just feel like if you're gonna constantly talk negative about it, that's just kind of what's gonna happen. So I always tried to think positive about every interview process. And even though I was really nervous, I still was like, you know, I did my best. So that's all that I can do. So the 3 things that I would say were really important to me in order of importance was the things that I were looking for in each airline was reserve, how they did their reserve system, their bases, you know, their location, their different bases, and obviously pay. So with the reserve systems, I feel like a lot of airlines, they are on straight reserve until they can hold the line. And I know United was that way, and Frontier and Republic. So yeah, it was like, you know, staying on straight reserve, and you know, I watched all these videos about reserve, but I really didn't know what it was until I started working. So yeah, you're pretty much an on-call flight attendant for either a really long time with some of the bigger airlines, or maybe up to a year or 2. And one thing that did put me off about United was I asked how long would someone be on reserve for, And this woman told me that she was like, honey, did you not hear so-and-so? She has been on reserve for 20 or 30 years. And I was like, wait, what? So that just kind of stuck with me. And I know with American, what I really loved was their reserve system, which was 1 on, 1 off. So you were on call for 1 month, and then you had a line the other month, which I really liked that. And with Delta, I think they had like 6 reserve days each month, which wasn't bad as well. And then with pay, I just compared each airline, you know, which pay was the highest, which pay was the least. But yeah, those were the 3 top things that I looked for, but I am my own person, and you know, someone else may look for 3 other different things. Maybe they really want to be based on the West Coast. For example, Alaska Airlines, all of their bases was on the West Coast. And in the back of my mind, I was like, you know, I'm applying to Alaska Airlines, but it wouldn't be so bad if I didn't get a job offer, because I would rather look for an airline that had a base somewhere on the East Coast. Maybe, you know, you have a mom or a dad that has children and they're like, I want to work for an airline that can get off of reserve the quickest. So they would probably look into working for a regional airline, or just research airlines that, you know, have like a better reserve system where they aren't on reserve for years and years and years. That's something that would work for them. Or maybe you're just the type of person who doesn't care who you work for, how much you get paid, where you're based at, and you just apply for every and any airline, which, hey, you do you. So I wanted to look for the emails that I sent out to the airlines that I pretty much said thanks but no thanks to, just so you can kind of see how I worded the email. Also, I think I forgot to mention this, but I got my United's job offer while I was in training for American, so I thought that was pretty funny. That's how long that they took. So I pretty much said hi, and then I answered my name, and I thanked them for, you know, giving me the opportunity and giving me a job offer, but I'm going to deny the offer at this time. And then they were just like, you know, thank you, we wish you the best, which I thought was kind of sweet. And then I'm sure I sent, you know, something along the same lines to Frontier as well. So I did reach out to the companies that offered me a job offer, and if I weren't going with them, you know, I just sent them a nice little email thanking them and just stating that I wouldn't be going to training. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to cover today. If I forgot anything, make sure to check out the description box. I always have some information as well. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you guys next time.